Hello YouTube, I am Joshua Ross and today we are looking at the ZTE ZMax Pro for Job and Joshua's History of Reviews YouTube channel. I did a review and unboxing of this a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And a lot of people found it hilarious, and I was completely surprised that they thought that review was funny considering the audio was crappy as heck. It was really windy. But I unboxed it, and there were a few things where I couldn't really mention because I hadn't used the phone. I've had the phone, I believe, since like June or May or something like that, and now it's January 8th, so it's like 6 months or something, or somewhere around there, 6 or 7 months. And I can honestly give great feedback on the positivity, the positives, the negatives, the negativity, the issues, whatever you want to call them, the pros and cons, if you will, of this phone. A positive thing about this phone is it has a long-lasting battery. I wouldn't say it's long-lasting if you constantly have internet turned on or Bluetooth. A lot of people have internet and Bluetooth always turned on because they don't know that you can turn it off. I had an ex-girlfriend that didn't know you could turn Bluetooth and internet off, and she ended up keeping it on afterward anyway. She's like, my battery drains in like 2 hours and 30 minutes. I don't know why. And I was like, let me look at your phone. And, she was iffy about it. Whatever, it's a big thing today. Be iffy about letting other people see your phone. And I'm like, you know what? I see the problem. You have your internet always turned on. You have your Bluetooth always turned on, and she never closed her apps. Like, she never hit the app task button and then swiped clear all or whatever, and it makes all your apps that are running in the background go away. And I did that, and her phone lasted 2.5 days. And then she's like, oh, I just get too tired of turning the internet and Bluetooth off. I'll just keep it on all the time. And so she had battery issues. But yeah, as long as you don't have apps running in the background constantly always open, as long as you don't have the internet always turn on or Bluetooth always turn on, this phone will last you. It lasts me about a day and a half if I don't have the internet always turn on. If I get on for like sporadically to check Instagram for like 5 minutes a day, like every 2 or 3 hours, it works perfectly fine. If I watch a YouTube video, it works perfectly fine. It lasts up to a day. If I watch like 30 minutes of YouTube videos a day, it lasts a day. And that's at least what my data shows for mine. I don't know how you use it. If you're like a hardcore cell phone gamer, it'll probably last a lot less. But this phone does have excellent battery life. If you play games, you watch YouTube videos for an hour or two, you get on Instagram for 30 minutes to go through all your thousands of people that you really don't give a crap about, then this phone will probably last you 8 to 12 hours, somewhere around there, depending on a whole bunch of, like, it goes with phone, like, the room temperature, how hot your phone gets, how cold it is outside, how hot it is outside. Your location is what also affects cell phone batteries, laptops, and stuff like that. Another thing that this has is if you stick with the stock charger that comes with this phone, the ZTE ZMax Pro, you stick with the stock charger, it has lightning charging. So it charges your phone in 30 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes. Whereas a standard phone charger takes 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours to charge completely. This one charges really fast. I was really shocked for the $100 I spent on this that it came with a lightning charger. And I was really impressed with it. That's amazing. I love lightning chargers. I've had one of them on I believe I had one on my Galaxy Grand Prime and my Galaxy S3, but the phones I had before that didn't have lightning charging because it took forever. Another good thing is you get text message notification. I said in my original excuse, the fingerprints, I finger my phone a lot. I said in my initial review, I don't know if it has a notification bar, so I was looking up here for it, and about 3 or 4 days after having it, I'm like, why the F is this glowing? Right here, the circle. Why is the home menu button glowing? And then I looked on the settings, and it said text notification, home button on or off. And yep. So it'll glow right there, and that circle will glow up white. It won't change colors. It's not a color changing one. It's not like the Galaxy S3. But it will glow white on, off. It'll pulse when you have a notification from a text message, a missed phone call, Facebook post, Instagram, your grandma fell and she can't get up, what have you. So that's another good thing. I miss this because I've had my last 3 phones did not have text message notification. My Galaxy Grand Prime, my Moto 2, and my Motorola Citrus, as I dub the Motorola Citrus. Sorry, I flubbed my words. I just got my teeth worked on at the dentist a few days ago. Sorry about that. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. It does have a text message notification. Another good thing is, as you know, it has a fingerprint scanner, and it also has a flashlight. Flashlight's always good. Some phones don't have flashlights, believe it or not. And the fingerprint scanner is really awesome. you can use any of your 10 fingers, and I guess maybe even your toes if you don't have hands. I shouldn't be laughing, that's terrible, but you can use your toes. You can use almost anything. I think I actually tested it out with my pinky toe, so I'm sorry for the next sorry effer that buys this when I sell it for a new phone. Yeah, it's really awesome that you have like I've done it with every finger. Like I've done my pinky on my left hand and tried to open it with my right pinky. It wouldn't work. I had to use my left one. So that's really awesome. I didn't initially know that it had a fingerprint scanner, so that was always a big surprise. This phone surprised me a lot when I got it. Another good thing would be it has a gyroscope. Some of you are wondering, well, what the F do you need a gyroscope for? Well, if you play Pokemon Go, I don't anymore, but I have tested it out and it works. You can have like the Pokemon pop up in the real world. If you have those apps where it says like look up at the moon or whatever, there's like a starlight app where you can actually see like constellations in the sky. You move your phone and it moves like with the sky around you and it highlights stars, like things like that. Games. There are some video things that do it as well. But I haven't used any of those. There's augmented reality if you want to have like things pop up and it'll say lay down a picture or something and you can have that picture pop up. So that's what you need a gyroscope for. So for $100, that is a killing. My Galaxy Grand Prime was $99 and it did not have a notification or a gyroscope, which really peed me off. So that's really good that has a gyroscope. It has a huge effing screen compared to a Galaxy S5. The Galaxy S5 like only goes right to here, and this phone has like 2 or 3 more inches on it. So that's the huge screen is great. That is awesome. It's really clear. It's a full HD screen. Another big thing, it has a removable SD card and a removable SIM card. A lot of phones today are going away from removable SD cards. Like Android is trying to copy Apple now, if you haven't read, and trying to make it where, oh, you need to buy the 120 gigabytes model of our phone, which costs $300 more than stock for the 8 gigabyte model, if you want to get more memory, if you want to download more porn to your phone. But no, this one actually has it. Pops out right on the side. It's got one of those weird soda can tab opening things, which really sucks, but it's kind of unique. I'm getting used to it. And I really like it. I like that it has that. Like I said, a lot of phones and Android are not having SD cards or removable SIM cards. The 32 gigabytes is built in. It's got 32 gigabytes of memory. A lot of people saying, well, that's not a lot. Well, hey, to me, I was stuck with 8 gigabytes for a really long time with SD cards for external memory. This one has 32 gigabytes of memory built in. It also has super slow motion video mode. A lot of people don't know about that. You can shoot in super slow motion, and the super slow motion is, I believe, 240 frames per second, but it's like GoPro 240 FPS on the older models, the Hero Black 3, where it's 480, or WVGA, that's what it's, WVGA quality, where it's everything looks smushed and you have like really jagged, sharpened edges and stuff, and sometimes it's blurry. But when you get in the right light, it looks pretty good. I actually did a video test with Job, go check it out. Say ZTE ZMax Pro super slow motion or video test or something like that. It's on our channel somewhere. And it has a manual photo mode. And a lot of you are wondering, oh, what's the manual photo mode? Is that mode that I hate where it makes everything blurry? Yes, it is. You can control the ISO. You can control the shutter speed. You can control the focus. So if you want to get bokeh black, it's like where the background is blurred and your subject is in focus. That's what you would need the manual or pro mode for, and this phone has it, thank God. The camera's not the best. It's 16 megapixels front-facing camera. It's not the best, but hey, if you are looking for a cheap alternative to a DSLR, all you gotta do is get an external microphone, plug it in there, have your manual photo mode turned on, and well, bam, so you can take great video and great pictures and have the background blur that you want. It's got customizable buttons. These 2 buttons right here, the back and the app open buttons, you can flip them. You can customize them on the settings mode. You can make this one the back button and this one the app button, or this one the back button, this one the app button. So it's a little small thing, but it's pretty awesome. It's pretty neat to be able to do that. A lot of phones don't let you do that. Customizable buttons is the last one on the positives. Now we're going into the negatives. I mentioned earlier that 32 gigabytes of built-in memory. I have had a few times where I will download songs onto this, and it will delete randomly a song every month or two. It'll delete 1 or 2 songs, and you'll have to re-download it. Or the songs will stop working entirely, and that's an issue. It's deleted, I believe, on 2 different occasions. Songs that I moved from the memory to my SD card. A few weeks later, they were gone. And a lot of people will say, well, that's from your SD card. No, if it's deleting from my phone and deleting from my SD card, it's a phone issue. And I read other people had this issue as well. So beware. Have backups of your songs on Google Drive, so if it deletes it, you can just re-download it and not have to go on to the Android store and click re-download. Take forever. Just have it already there. The fingerprint scanner stops working. It gets dirty pretty easily, but even when you clean it with like safe solution that you have to call up your Android store to find out if it's clean or not, and they might even have it there, your Metro store, and even when it's clean, it still is very, very buggy. It used to work perfectly at first, but now mine, I've used it so much, it takes forever to work. Sometimes it doesn't even work at all. And it says like wait 30 seconds in order to try again or something like that. It randomly freezes out of nowhere, or when someone calls. I can't tell you like 4 times that I remember in my mind where my mother called and I went to swipe over and it froze my phone entirely, and like 30 minutes later it went pew, it made a weird noise pew, and then it reset. So you do have random freezes. I believe that happened with my S3 as well, but way more with my S3. My S3 was randomly resetting all the time, at least twice a day, and I read other people had that issue as well. Not everyone that had an S3 had that issue, but I read other people did had that issue. A big issue, one of the first things I noticed, like the first day I got this, was the screen flickers. And I'm not talking about the auto screen where you look at it and you go outside and it gets brighter and then you go back inside and it dims. No. It's something with the circuit board. The display was not mounted correctly on a lot of the models, because this is a big issue on Google. Huge issue where this happened, and it like flicks. It flicks. Sometimes it's barely noticeable. When you have the screen brightness all the way up, it's barely noticeable. But when it's down enough, you notice it flickers. It flickers. It flickers. It flickers. It flickers. It doesn't make any noises, but it flickers, and it's really annoying. But what can you say for $100 with all the other stuff you get with it? But it's really annoying. The screen does not respond to two-hand input. This is a universal issue. It is a big issue if you're video editing, if you are audio editing, if you are playing games especially. It will detect your 2 fingers for a split second, and then it will stop responding. Like, it won't move at all. So, I've played Sonic Dash, which is only usually a 1-finger game, but if you do the movements too fast, it registers as 2-finger input, and then he just stops responding for 10 seconds till it resets, and by that time you've died. You've lost all your damn rings. You've lost Princess Sally's coochie. But anyway, that's beside the damn point. So it's a big issue when you're trying to trim on video, and then it just stops, and then sometimes it adds more, like it re-adds what you just deleted. So that's a big effing issue. You can fix this sometimes by plugging in your charger and then trying it, but then again, it's still kind of finicky. Or you can plug in a headset. A headset usually works too, but if it's finicky. And you shouldn't have this issue with a ZTE phone. But yeah, it's really, really annoying. So if you were planning on buying this for gaming, some people said also buy tampered glass and put it on and it'll fix the discharge. But I haven't been able to test that out, and some people said they tested it out and it didn't work. Some people said they tested it out, it worked perfectly. I don't know, I can't find tampered glass for this. I could probably just Google it, but I'm too lazy to. My fingers hurt. If you're listening to music, when someone calls after they end the call, your music blares to the maximum level. I cannot tell you the number of times I've been listening to Mirror by Dream Theater. Look it up if you haven't ever heard it. And that's a pretty loud metal, rock, alternative, grunge kind of styled song. And the guitar and bass and the drums and everything and the orchestra, the organs just blare. And I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, F word. And I've actually had old people walk by me when that happened. I'm like, alright, bye mom, love you. And then it goes, I'm like, F. And like, hey, watch your mouth, sonny boy. And that's not exaggerating. They really did. I'm like, yeah, you didn't have music just blaring in you. I mean, you got a damn hearing aid. And I really did say that, and I ran. Because when I get mad, I have to run. But anyway, yeah, that's a big issue. Oh my god, it's just killer. And the first time, at least with some people, not just me, said on the ZTE forums that the first time they plugged in a headset and listened to music, the levels went up and down. It went from being really soft to really loud, like I just described. I had that happen for 2 effing weeks. And then I had to go to Dolby Sounds. I did like everything. I reinstalled my music app. I used the default music app. It didn't matter whether I was listening to video or watching videos or whatever. It did the same thing. Then I went to like the Dolby Supply thing. I messed around with the settings. Didn't work. Then I said, you know what, 3 days later after trying to mess with it, I finally got it to work. You have to customize the settings and turn some of the levels really low. Really ridiculous. And I haven't had that issue minus the phone calling thing since. So that's another issue. And that's really the pros and cons to this phone. They're pretty much, I believe, almost even. There's a few more pros to it, a few more positive vibes to the phone than negative vibes. But some of the negatives can be a really big deal breaker, especially the two-hand input. It really limits your usability of this phone. The random freezing and screen flickering might really kill your eyes. It'll help produce eye strain because like your eyes are like, oh, bright, dark, bright, dark, bright, dark, bright, dark. Just flickering. Just like this. That's why it does. It flickers. No, it's not. I mean, like, if you do this, look, it's not that bad. Like, right now, because you're not doing anything really, like, major with it. It's not really that bad. And the screen brightness is at half, which is when you start to slowly notice it. But, yeah, those are some positives and some negatives about the ZTE ZMax Pro. This is, I guess, my second review after having it for almost half a year, or a little bit over half a year. Would I still recommend it? Yes, but if you're in it for gaming, don't do it. If you want a phone that never freezes, I wouldn't recommend it for that. If you can risk getting one that has screen flicker, because a lot of them did, then go for it. If you're not into that, if you need gaming, if you need a gyroscope, I mean, this is perfect. If your app doesn't require two-hand input, if you're just moving around, then that's perfect. Like Pokemon Go is fine. Anything else? I would definitely recommend this phone for $100. Yeah, that's not too bad. So yeah, I would still recommend it. Just be very, very cautious with your phone. And if you have any issues, immediately go to MetroPCS or send it into the ZTE company or something, and hopefully they will be able to fix it. So I'm Josh from Job and Joshua's History of Some Reviews, and I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, share on Facebook, share on Twitter, share on Instagram, share on Chatterbait.